I've heard, that's why I haven't been, but a last-ditch effort to save the world's most famous toy store. Holiday shoppers were greeted with signs saying everything in the store 10 to 20% off. That means they're only like $1,000 a toy now. Kidding. Anyway, you got Barbie, $15, $85,000 Monopoly set. Better be made of gold. Oops. I don't have kids, but, you know, if I did,
Can you
I'd
imagine
give them one of these.
How did Petco change the way you shopped? That you could get 50 pounds of kibble for just, you know, your new dog.
Shut up and go to Jamie.
Cruise the streets throwing kibble out the windows. Come on, dogs, let's go. Jami Gertz stars in a new TV movie called Undercover Christmas.
Is that work trying to get men too, or just dogs?
She don't want men.
Please call me Anne. Now tell me, Brandy, what do you do? I mean, for a living.
I'm a cocktail waitress.
A cocktail waitress.
Mom.
And is that enough for you?
Oh, it's the best job I ever had. You know, beats cleaning houses. Plus, it allows me to use my people skills.
People skills, good.
Oh, Mom looks scared. And so does Jamie as she enters.
Here she comes.
Hello. I love the fake clapping.
Do you like that?
Yeah, there's not enough of it, though.
Wait
There
a
needs to
second.
be more.
Let's give Jamie one more round of applause. Let's show the audience who's giving her the applause. Show the audience. Zeke, show the audience that's giving her the applause.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Russ.
They told me it was a good room to come in.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, guys.
It's George.
Good
He
morning.
really brings in the people.
Hi, George. Hello. A pleasure to meet you.
Have you guys met before?
I don't
We
know
have
if we
not. This is
I
our
saw her at
first
the
time.
airport one time, but I just, you know, circled around with a hot dog. You know what?
Yeah. Actually, I thought she kind of looks like
This is
Sandra
Jamie.
Bullock, who's your boss.
Yeah,
A little
absolutely.
bit.
There you go.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And I love Quicksilver.
Oh, thank you.
And
that was a while ago.
I like square pegs. It behooves me to
yeah,
say,
but-
as you know.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Right?
Like, oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
Did you watch Square Pegs? I like so loved it.
I watched it as strategically because I didn't know that many white kids, and I thought, let me take a look and
And he
see how
used
they-
that as a barometer.
Yes, let me see what's indicative of white children in America today.
See what the white kids are doing today.
Yeah.
Problems too.
Do you think Jamie maybe wanted to talk about some projects that were a little more current?
Never. Who's interested?
And Jamie, your father ran the improv in Chicago.
Yes, he
Great
did.
guy, Walter.
He is a, oh, yes.
Great
thank
guy.
you. He's a
Yeah, so you knew her
wonderful man.
dad, but not
You're my
Jamie.
papa.
Not Jamie, no.
Good
That's
guy.
cool.
Yeah.
So you worked for her dad, sort of.
I did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Walter was
He
great.
packed him in.
So
Yeah,
you've always been around the showbiz world. You
Well, he
started
kind
young.
of got into it, you know, after I got into it. My dad, he was approached after I had done Square Pegs by some people who, out here who wanted to open up an improv in Chicago.
And how
liked
old
his
were you when you started?
I was 16 when I started.
Have you talked to Sarah Jessica Parker at all?
You know what? I saw her. She came to a play many years ago that I was in, but I have not seen her
Whatever
since.
happened to her?
Yeah, what happened to her?
She had a show on HBO, I think.
Oh.
Did
poor
she
girl.
some little show
Poor
that,
girl.
you know?
Okay, so
gosh.
what's the show that you're doing?
I'm doing a TV movie called Undercover Christmas. I'm a cocktail waitress from the wrong side of the tracks.
I could tell.
Who falls in love with an FBI agent. It happens all the time.
Well, I like the mom.
At the Christmas season.
Time Daly is kind of like disapproving.
Yeah, what I
Little
love about
judgmental.
Tyne in this is that, you know, because Cagney and Lacey, she was the cop. And
Yeah.
Judging Amy, she's like, you know,
Yeah.
earthy, crunchy granola. And here she's like minks and diamonds and very Ferragamo and
Wow.
disapproving. It's a different time.
Now, who's he? He's hubba.
He's a hot man.
He's a hottie
his name
Are you
is
throwing things at an FBI agent?
I'm throwing things at him because I'm angry that he is making me go home for
I like the
Christmas.
hair,
told you
and I
to
like
button
the
up? Was that the-
boobs,
He
and I
He told
like
me
the makeup.
we have the boobs, the whole thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, who is he? Because he's a hottie boobalati.
His name is Sean Patrick Christian.
Right? Nice
And-
Irish boy. Is he married?
Yes. He is married and
Ah,
has
crap.
a
Forget him.
beautiful
Let's move
son,
on.
a 3-year-old son.
Oh, whatever, Jamie, whatever.
But, you know, does he cheat on his wife? Kidding.
No, I don't want other man's wives, believe. I got enough problems of my own.
Yeah.
Believe.
There you go. Yeah, would not be good.
Believe
Jamie, what
George,
about you?
Jill has
Do you
enough
have-
problems.
Do you have balance
about
in your
me?
life? Do you have balance?
I do, Jillian, and thank you for asking.
Now, I ask
I
everyone.
have tremendous balance
How do
in
you
my
balance
life.
it all?
How do I? Because you just
She's a
screw up
juggler.
at every turn. And once you realize that you're going to mess up at every turn, you just relax and go, oh, well.
Yeah.
No
Really?
one's dead. No one's bleeding. Good day.
I wake up with a pulse. It's a good day.
It's a good day.
Hang on
I
a
think you
second
could
there,
choose
Jamie.
to like
If
be
your kids
happy.
are alive by dinner time,
You know what?
you've
It's
done
good.
your job.
Yeah.
It's a good
I
day.
actually literally took my son just turned 5, and my mother met me at the doctor because I knew there were going to be some shots, so I needed backup.
Oh, the 5-year-old shots are the
What's
worst.
his name?
How about I forgot his 4-year-old checkup and he needed 3 extra shots?
Bad mommy.
In front of my own mother telling me that I missed the 4-year-old checkup. I'm like, really?
Oh, so it's
That's
like 8
bad.
times they're
So
stabbing
he
this
was
poor
just
child?
stabbing this child. I'm like, you're getting a big ass present.
Here it is, Jamie.
There it is.
The kids
could've gotten-
love the little pooper. You know, he would love it. The
He would
reindeer
like
that
that.
actually
That is a big and ass present.
That is a I wonder if they're selling that at
Thank you.
FAO Schwartz
Thank
this
you.
year.
That's the one.
That'll keep them going. That'll keep them out of chapter
because
11.
it's cheap and the kids will love it. And I'll tell you, I'm
Yes.
giving Dorothy's son that. And if you'd like, I would like to offer.
Send one over.
Yeah.
I would appreciate
All right.
it. I think we all would.
You're
So you have
welcome.
that thing that I have, that in front of your mother, you
Oh,
want
that was
to
slow.
look like
it
a
was
good mother.
a low point. Yes, not doing the proper thing for my children in front of my mother.
What you can do is just say to the nurse or the doctor, go back and check those friggin' files, because you're wrong! Something like that.
You know what? The
Put it all
freaking
on him.
files were right in front of him, and I kept saying, "Are you sure?" And he kept looking. Yeah, I'm sure. No more in here last year.
Okay, so when I ask how you balance it, sometimes you screw up.
You know, the kids.
You know what it
Like a
is?
healthy
I used to
child.
read
That's
about
what
yes, and I used to read about actors who say you could have it all. Like you
Yeah,
can't
bull,
have it all. There's
baloney.
no having
the
it all.
only
There's,
person
like,
I know
getting
who
through
has it all is Kelly Ripa, and she freaks me out. She's got a morning show, 3 children, a hot husband, and she's got the sitcom.
But think of how
I think
crazy
there must
her
be
life
10
is.
Right, but I
Kellys.
think it's insanity there.
must
You
be.
don't come home and it's peaceful and loving. The children aren't perfect. It's not,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just see
You
the
don't see her in the
outside.
middle of the night sitting in the corner flipping the lamp on and off.
No. You never know.
Yeah.
Saying
yeah.
5 hours to Regis, 5 hours to Regis.
I gotta be up, I gotta be up, I gotta be up. Yeah.
10 minutes to Wapner. But do you say to your kids, because I have now learned to do this, and my son is 5, you know what? I don't say mommy screwed up. I say it it sounds much better, but I am very honest
I said
about that.
parents make mistakes too, not often.
Right.
Right.
By the way, usually I'm right, but there's the rare occasion that I'm wrong,
Yeah.
and buck up and
Now, are
get
you
through it.
one of those parents that you don't hit your kids and you don't hit your kid? Will you give them one of these if
I
he's acting
smack
up?
them, not
Very
that way.
No, I'm
The
scared.
way you do
I'm moving
that
away.
is very violent. No,
Oh.
but if we're way out of control,
Yeah.
I'm
A
the
pat
touch a little
on
like,
the
hey.
butt.
Or
I see nothing
I
wrong with
find
that.
a good
Pinch.
grab under the arm.
A grab is
Aye.
good.
Through gritted teeth.
Yeah.
And if you, one more, and I'm asking you, and if you don't.
Can you do the one eyebrow
See?
thing?
I
My
would
mother
listen
could
to
do that.
that.
Scared the hell out of me. Just
No.
the one eyebrow.
But then they start, you're hurting my arm, it's my arm.
And then it's a store,
Yeah.
and then it's like, isn't that Jami Gertz? And is that she abusing her son over there?
But you know why I don't hit? Because I see mothers all the time say, "Don't hit your brother," and then they smack
No, I know.
the
But I
child.
just have a problem.
To
I
me, it
take
sends
issue
the
with the
wrong
women in the
message.
grocery stores. Their kids
Yeah.
are running circles, and I said, Jesus, are you guys selling those valves? Which ones? The ones that, you put in your ear so that you don't even hear your own kid.
Oh, yeah,
They-
mommy.
Well, some
They're out of
kids do run
control.
circles in the grocery
But-
stores
and
every once in a
scream.
while.
You know what's
No,
painless?
but the
I'll tell you.
parents that don't do a damn thing
Little
about it, I got a problem
Benadryl.
with.
Little Benadryl evens them right
On the
out.
airplane,
sour.
on the airplane, I've been known.
They end
I
up
think-
sounding like Cheech. You want
But
some
mommy,
juice?
I'm
I
not
don't want
sick.
nothing.
You're sick. You're sick.
I don't want
I think George is talking about every day
You know,
on the hour.
how's our daughter? She's been asleep since July.
She's very
fine.
relaxed. She's very calm.
She's
She's
peaceful.
a calm child. Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
So are you doing the sitcom as
I'm
well?
doing the sitcom,
So you're
still
like,
standing.
Kelly
Isn't that the
So,
best
yeah.
schedule, though?
Oh wow! Because
Isn't
I'm
the si-
home by 4.
It's a good family schedule,
We get
huh?
to see everyone. See the homework. I get to have breakfast with them in the morning. It really is a blessed schedule. I am like,
yeah.
I don't know why I didn't catch on earlier to like doing the
Really?
And the
fourth.
show's on Monday night. It's on after. Is it before or after Raymond?
It used to be after. It's now before. Right before Raymond at
Nice.
8:30.
That Monday night CBS, you could ride that out forever and ever.
Wouldn't that
From
be
your
nice
mouth to God's ears. Are you listening? Forever and ever. Yes, that would be
Good for
joyful.
you. Good for you.
Yeah.
I got to get the whole.
good.
Now I have the sitcom thing. I got to get the kid working too, I suppose.
Oh yeah,
Not
you
only
can't
that-
have the sitcom without the kid.
You got to get people to watch that show. I've seen it. No, cat kid. Out of love.
No touching. You look good there. You look good. I like the big hair.
You guys didn't even
Yeah.
ask me what I wanted it for.
That's
Well,
my
the bank
dad.
didn't ask us either, which is a shame.
He's
because
funny.
would have run a damn fine all-you-can-drink batting cage.
What do you need the money for?
It's kind of complicated. It's a computer thing.
Oh, right. Me and your ma don't know nothing about no computing machines.
Besides, don't they only have them on spaceships?
So we make fun of our children, which is always joyful.
Isn't that the best? That's what
Yeah.
we do. The best thing to do is to rag on your
Sense
kids.
of humor.
And when is the movie on?
The movie is on this Sunday at 9 p.m.
Awesome.
Sunday,
Yes,
Monday.
Yeah, there
Sunday
you
and
go.
Monday. Still standing Mondays at 8:30 on CBS, and the movie
You'll
is
be
Sunday
poopy
night.
scooping your yard.
Yes,
at
I
9
will.
On Sunday
And
night.
blow drying my cats. Let's not forget. All right,
And the
next up,
rabbit.
Mad TV. We are. Oh, they're going after Kobe. It's really, really funny. Hi.
Oh, and it's snowing
here's the joke.
in New York City, and we're going back to Philly and Maryland to see what's really going on.
You got it.
Will you tell us?
No.
You know?
No. Well, I'll tell you if I find out.
You better not cry, you better not pout. I'm
Telling you why Santa Claus is coming.
But I don't listen
to town.
Vegas at the Billboard Awards. Actually, it kind of threw me off there. We'll be in Vegas, I think, in January, but the Billboard Music Awards are next Wednesday.
Yeah, and Neil Diamond, remember when we used to stalk him?
Yeah.
What up?
When people see you on the street, I know they know who you are, but there's some people who don't know say, when are you going to fight Manny Pacquiao?
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather?
A little bit. I can't fight like him, though. I wish I had his money, though.
Have you ever gotten in a fight?
Oh, man, yeah, I've lost a couple, George, honestly. You know, I have no problem with being honest. People, my record isn't that good on the streets. My only 2 fights were with family, though. My cousin Kimberly, she beat me bad. Kimberly beat me bad. Kimberly was a bad one. I never should have went in there. My family hyped me up to do it. They was like, Kev, don't let her talk to you like that. You need to go hit her. And I was like, but you think, like, she's bigger. They was like, don't matter, man. Hit her. And I was like, well, if I miss, are y'all gonna help me? They was like, yeah, go. I went downstairs. I didn't see nobody behind me. I was by myself. My cousin Kimberly grabbed my arm, slung me all over the floor. You know, the worst part about losing a fight is when you lose your shoe. Because then you gotta go find your shoe. That's the worst part. I don't like that part. I don't like that part at all.
All right, you were at probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Okay.
And people that know, I want to ask you, everybody take a look at this video, and we're going to ask you to kind of narrate what was happening. Take a look at this video. Oh my God.
Okay. First of all, I know it looks bad with me running into the camera. Okay. Let me explain to y'all what's going on. All right. It was Puffy's party. All right. Puff had a party. He's called me, said, Kev, can you host a party with me? I said, yeah, dude. I said, I'll do it. I said, I'm in New York. So he said, look, we creating this little sexy scene in the bathroom. It's gonna be girls in the tub. You, Trey Songz, Fabulous. Like, it's nice. It's just gonna look like it's the place to be. We're gonna stream it. I was like, oh, that's gonna be hot. So we get up there. I'm hosting. You know, first of all, I'm a sex symbol. Okay. So I'm up there and I'm hosting, you know, I'm promoting the party. I'm like, yeah, man, this is a nice event. You see, we up here in the tub. I hear Trey Songz behind me. First of all, if somebody hair is on fire, it's a panic. Like, it's a yell, yo, your hair. It should be crazy. You would have thought Trey was singing. This is all I heard. I heard, yo, your hair's on fire. Like it was one of his tracks. Like, yo, your hair's on fire. I turned around, I saw it, I was like, oh! Because like literally, like the flame, like George, the flame grew. Like it was like somebody threw gasoline on it. Like, so when I saw it, I was like, ow! But, so my first instinct was to save myself. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's the truth. At the end of the day, I don't want to die, you know? I don't know if you guys know, weaves are the most flammable thing out. Okay? A weave, if there would have been another girl next to her with a weave, that thing would have caught faster than the forest fire. So I just said, let me save myself. Now, to camera, I run, I'm like, did you get that on tape? Only reason why I said that is because I didn't really get to see the whole thing. So I wanted to see it over again for my selfish reasons.
All right, let's take a look at it one more time, everybody. Let's see it again. In slow motion. It might be funny and slower. So, I think it's safe to say you were probably raised very, very tough.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Tough
from
family.
The streets.
Yeah, from the street. What can you pass along to your kids that they would understand?
Well, you know what, George? It's funny you say that because I've I've been having a hard time with figuring out the type of life lessons, you know, that I'm trying to hand my kids. You know, basically, as a father, you want to teach your kids certain things. But I look back at my life, George, you know, I don't have a lot to teach. No, like, here's the one thing. Like, okay, my daughter, and this is me being very honest, you guys, my daughter's a little princess, beautiful, she's spoiled. So, you know, I'm one way with her, but with my son, I'm like, I live in LA, I'm in the valley, you know, my son ain't around tough kids. My main thing is teaching my son how to fight.
And how old is he?
My son's 3, okay? Now, look, you don't see what goes on in these daycares, all right? These little kids are crazy. All right? I caught a little boy putting paste in my son's mouth. That's when I had enough. I said, I'm gonna teach my son how to defend himself. Now, the only problem I'm having, my son thinks he's Spider-Man, George, for real. Like, listen, I'm not joking. Like when we play, he wet me. He like, listen. But because I'm dad, like because I'm his dad, when he does it, I gotta act like I'm caught. I'm like, oh no, you know, let me out. So, but it's us playing. Let me tell you why this is bad. I'm not joking. So I go to pick him up from school, right? This little boy is hitting my son in the head with a truck, right? My son on the floor doing this. He trying to wet me. I yelled, I got so mad, I said, boy, get your ass up. You're not Spider-Man, man. You're not Spider-Man. He tried to get me while I was talking, but I had to play. I was like, okay, let me out, let dad out. Y'all laughing, I'm being so serious, man. My household, son is in trouble if I don't save him. He really thinks he's Spider-Man, George.
Oh,
Don't judge my son, okay? Don't judge my son. I have my son. I have my son come here and web this whole audience right now. My son will web all y'all. And y'all better act like y'all caught in the net.
Is your daughter a good student?
Oh man, you know what's funny? My daughter is actually a great student, but I didn't understand how good of a student she was. Like, you know, I'm from Philadelphia, you guys. You know, city where it go down at. I don't know. All right, so listen. So I don't know what that was. I saw it in the video. So my daughter's first report card, you know, she gets a report card. So I'm like, baby, how'd you do your report card? So she's like, look, Dad, I got all E's and G's. So, you know, I'm from a school of A's, B's, and C's. You know, D's are bad, F's are bad. So in my mind, I'm like, you got worse than an F? Like, you got an E? Like, you're 5. I said, like, how dumb is my baby to get an E? Yo, I was going off. And she was like, no. Like, her mom told me it was excellent and good. But that just made me even more angry because I'm like, who gave y'all the audacity in California to change these things? Okay? No. For years, it was A's, B's, and C's. E's and G's, nobody do that. For that, I almost punched my daughter in the forehead. But I had to stop. No, I'm serious. Only reason I didn't do it because my son was like, and he stopped me. So I couldn't. I was ready to punch. My son stopped me.
Oh my God. Tell me about becoming the spokesperson for Ford.
Oh man, right now I'm doing a ad campaign with Ford. They wanted me to be spokesperson of the new vehicle, which is an SUV. Which I at first I thought they were trying to play with me, George, because I'm small. Okay, you know. No, I'm serious. Like, you got little cars that I can promote. You know, give me something that I can get out of cool. I'm jumping out this daggone truck. You know? I'm serious, George. I fell twice in the commercial. I fell 2 times. Shooting the commercial, when we're doing a shot, I'm supposed to jump out the truck and say, hey, we're here. Well, George, I missed my foot because my balance wasn't good. But regardless, it's an opportunity, you know, to do something nice, man. It's a good commercial ad, good campaign. So Ford is doing big things right now. I'm happy to be a part of it,
George.
Good,
man. You are hilarious. I know you from back in the day. I got you something for the next party, man, in case it gets out of control. I blinged out. Go to LopezTonight.com to find out where Kevin is performing. He's performing near you. Kevin Hart, everybody. K. Hart. Angie, I know Wednesday's your birthday.
Yeah, I know it is too. I saw a bunch of empty boxes of hair dye in the trash.
Kids, notice how at feeding time the old dominant chimp challenges the young beautiful one?
You know what? Call me whatever you want. I'm eating your food, I'm drinking your beer, I'm watching your television. Yeah, I'm the monkey.
Benny,
Gina?
the only thing I like better than working next to you for 30 years is eating next to you for 30 years. Don't you usually coil yourself around that and wait for it to die?
Thank you, Gina.
For what?
For servicing our troops during the Civil War.
Hey, Benny, I was looking for you.
Yeah.
You got a call from Manny Lopez?
Manny called me?
Hey, your baby's daddy finally got that carton of cigarettes and he's on his way back.
Screw you and the homeless people sleeping under your breasts.
Mom, I told you to wait out in the car.
You don't tell me what to do. I wiped your butt.
Where you going?
To the bathroom.
All right, but make it fast.
Don't tell me how to pee.
Hey, Benny, it must be nice to have a 3-hour lunch break. I wish my son were the manager.
Oh, have you got a son? I just thought a chunk of ugly fell off you.
Everyone back up. Just give her some air.
Let me through. What happened?
Well, she fell, Jack.
She tripped over the cart.
Oh, man. Why can't you people hurt yourselves at home? You in pain?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I better go call 911. All right, everybody, back to work. Come on, quit your gawking.
Mom, where does it hurt?
It's only going to hurt the company's wallet because this is what's going to buy me my timeshare in Tampa. Here, you got yourself a peeper.
Carmen came crying to you too, huh? You know what really happened? Max is growing up. You'll soon understand why it's okay that Anna Kournikova never wins.
You know, it's about time.
Hey, what happened?
Oh, Max got caught sneaking a look at one of Carmen's friends.
Oh, man, I didn't see my first naked woman until I was 18. And the first one that was awake until I was 30.
You know, I caught George peeking at a woman when he was around Max's age. You remember that, George? Huh? I think Ernie'd like to hear that story.
No, he wouldn't, Mom.
George, I forget. Who was that again?
You know, I don't remember. Back to work, Mom.
Oh, man, was it that super fox Sylvia from across the street?
No, but it was a form of wildlife.
Well, who was it?
Your mom.
Oh, no. How could you peep at my mom, George?
Ernie, I wasn't trying to, man. Who watches TV naked after a shower?
She likes to air dry.
Look, to even things up, I'll let you look at my mom naked.
So you want pictures of the real thing?
I bet I can find him.
No. Hey, you know what? You stay out of this. It's between me and your father.
So Manny knows about this?
No, it's between me and me. Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Está loca, leave it alone.
Oh, what's the matter, princess? You gained half a pound?
Benny, that hurts. But it doesn't burn.
Whoa. you're taking this a little too seriously, Vic. Why don't you take some of that cologne and put it on a rag, pop it over her mouth, and drag her away, huh? Now I know what you've been knitting. A to-go bag for my son's huevos.
You want to see what happens when you start dating boys too early?
Dad.
That.
You know what? I wasn't so much dating boys at 15 as...
Mom!
Having sex with them. What'd you think I was gonna say? Hey, that better not have been my last beer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I would give it back. But now it is coursing through my alimentary canal, pushed forward by tiny esophageal cilia.
You know, everyone hates you here.
What?
You're a burden to everyone. You get in everybody's way. You've been here too long. Go, get a life.
No one has told me this. I don't want to be a burden on anyone.
Too late.
Hey, wait a minute. You are always here. What's your excuse?
I don't just mooch off this family. I have a purpose here.
Hey, Grandma, you left your cigarettes in my room. Can I keep the matches?
Well, you certainly may. I'm a caregiver. Maybe you could practice closing that robe. Starting to catch a little plantain action out of the corner of my eye. I say steer into the skid, dye her hair blonde, and send her to stripper school. George, listen, we gotta talk. Hey, shouldn't you be in a window in Amsterdam?
Shouldn't you be in a medical journal with a question mark next to you?
What do you want, Mom?
Listen, George, I've been sitting at my house thinking, you can't go with Mel. It's too chancy. What if things don't work out? Well, how are you going to support your family?
You just want me to stay at the factory so your job will be safe.
Well, yeah. That's part of it. But you know, I also think that the factory should have the best damn manager it can. And you are the only guy. You know what? I just can't pull it off when it's too ridiculous. Look. With you out of the picture, they are going to phase me out. A lot of those people over there don't like me.
No.
They confuse my sense of humor with cruelty.
I'm not gonna stay there just to cover your butt.
Oh, come on, who are you kidding? The plant's all you know. You know what? If you go with Mel, you're gonna fall on your face.
You don't know that.
Yeah. Did it ever occur to you that I could get out of the plant? Huh? And maybe make some big money? Enough to afford my dream of someday buying an island?
Is that your dream?
Not for us. I'm putting her on it. Don't worry, I'll get you a volleyball to talk to.
George, you do what you want. But if you go with Jack, we'll both have a job. If you go with Mel, I'm gonna be out on the street in a week.
Hey, let me help you out. Your first can. Let's go. Vámonos.
Can you believe the nerve of that guy? Asking you to save his life after he walked out of yours.
Look, if I were in his place, Mom, I'd do the same thing. I mean, he has no other options.
Well, there's one I like. It sounds like this. Beep, 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 beep.
Mom!
kidney, but you've already given your spare to Manny. Now, what am I supposed to do?
You want to know what you're supposed to do?
Yes, I do.
You want to know?
Please tell me.
Yeah, so that stuff gets rid of headaches? Yep. Let's see if it works. No, the pain's still there.
Well, I got my own headache medicine. It's also good for arthritis and depression. Possible side effects, waking up in a field with your panties on your head.
What was that like with Johnny Carson? Nothing, I imagine, can compare to the primordial nature of television back in the 1970s and early 80s when that was it. If you were on Johnny Carson, something like 80 to 90% of America was watching you in that very moment. That must have been a hell of a trip, dude.
I mean, I was in Las Vegas and Johnny Carson was going to retire. And in the summer of 91, the USA Today in the Life section had a comedian named Ron Schock, and he was going to be one of the last 6 comedians to be on The Tonight Show before Johnny leaves in 11 months. So I started to think, man, that's like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. There's 5 tickets out there, and who's going to be the 5? And I'm thinking, well, it's not going to be me. You know what, man? It was me. I got one of the 6 spots.
God damn.
Man.
I'm Rick Sanchez, and this is the Rick Sanchez podcast. And boy, we've got a real treat for you. We talk a lot about something on this show that makes us very unique as Latinos. And you know what it is? Man, we are so friggin' resilient. There's something about the spirit of being a Latino in the United States. I mean, everybody knows we work 42 hours a week. The average non-Latino works 33 hours a week. We hire more people. We start more jobs. But the one thing we do, I think, the one thing we do as Latinos in America that makes us different is we just don't give a crap, man. You knock us down, we're going to get back up. You knock us down, you fire me, I'll get another job. I don't care. It's fine. We're like the frickin' Energizer Bunny, right? That's kind of who we are. It's who I am. I mean, how many times have I failed? I've told you all everything I've learned in my life is because I've gotten knocked down, right? And we start that way. And there's one guy, right? When you think of Latinos in America, there's one guy in particular who always comes to mind. And this is a guy who never had it easy, right? And part of the reason he never stops, he's always going, he's always winning, is because life's never been easy for this guy, right? It didn't start easy, and from time to time it hasn't been easy, but he's always está ahí, está aquí, as we say, está arriba. And I'm proud to know him, and I'm proud to say that, representa, right? He represents. George Lopez is good enough to join us now. How about that, huh?
That's quite an introduction.
How come nobody claps for me?
Yeah. I never thought it was going to be me, which I think is maybe one of the essential tools you need to be successful is you can't think it's going to be you because the odds are so stacked against you that thinking it would be you would be seeing a result before you've created a result. So I never thought it was me. And then I was going to go and see if it could be me. But my grandfather was not my biological grandfather. But he told me that I was lazy, that I was going to grow up to be lazy. And I think that could have been negative reinforcement or negative. But that doesn't work with kids these days. And it worked with me back then only because life was so simple. He was one of the few adults I ever saw in my life. So I had to listen to what he was saying. He was saying right in front of me. And I would just say, we'll see. We'll see.
My mother worked in a factory, and your grandmother who raised you worked in a factory. And it's funny because those of us who even know that word, it means so much to us. you're poor when your parents worked in a factory. I don't know a non-Latino or a white kid who has ever said to me when I've said to them, oh, what did your parents do? They've said, oh, my mom worked in a factory. Even just the word factory has a very special meaning to guys like you and me, doesn't it?
I've never heard anybody say it like that, but yes, and everybody was looking for out here in Van Nuys, California, the General Motors job, the Lockheed job, Northrop, Aerospace, JPL, and they all had, there was nepotistic, they got in.
Yeah.
But I never wanted to do that in my heart or soul. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew that I didn't want to do that, put an ashtray in a Camaro for 40 years.
And by the way, let me say something. That's a job at the plant. You would say, oh, my mom or my grandmom or my dad, he worked at the Ford plant. My dad worked for Chevrolet. My dad worked for Ford. When you say my mom worked at a factory, you know what that means? That means they worked in a place where you don't even know what the hell the product was. They were, in my case, my mom sewed shoes from some company that nobody ever heard of called Suave or Siboney. But it's not like a job at the plant. It's not like it came with great benefits, So it's a job, man. It's just a job, right?
It's when you're saying that, whenever I used to go to town with my grandmother and grandfather, and I saw some kids that I may have known from school, I would duck down so they wouldn't see me with them. But in reality, I should have stood up. I just realized that I used to duck down not to be seen with them. They didn't know them. I knew them, and I didn't want to be seen with them. But they weren't bad people. They were deficient in what areas all people of that age, of that time, would have been deficient in. Caring about other people. Yeah. They didn't have any sympathy for anybody. Everything was like, you're all right, get up, come on, we gotta go. And there was nothing that ever you could was any urgency to make sure, are you okay? Are you all right? If somebody were to do that, they would say, yeah, he's all right, thank you. He doesn't need anything.
George, you grew up with your grandmother, really, your mom's mother, maternal grandmother.
Yeah.
And your grandfather somewhat, although you describe him as not a really nice guy, kind of mean, right? What happened to your parents?
My mother, in San Fernando, California, my mother was always somebody who, first of all, she wasn't entirely mentally well. And she would just kind of go out and, come back with a guy and, come back with a TV, come back with a new refrigerator. I mean, I don't know how she did it. I mean, she didn't write. And I tried to teach her to read when I was in fourth grade, and I couldn't do it. You can't teach an adult to read in fourth grade. And one of the things that was very painful to me to see was that they would have an open house, and she would come to the open house, and you'd have to sign in. And I would be like, no, she's okay. And then she would make an X. That's when an X was an approved signature. She would make an X.
Wow.
That just lays on you, man. Like, oh my God. I wasn't a straight A student, so there wasn't any clamoring to see what my work was going to reveal about me, and that was just so internally destructive to me that those may have been the seeds that were planted to find those nuances that made us who we were, but also that you could share with other people. So they knew that if they saw the same thing, like you said, we're resilient.
Yeah. When I went to NBC to work after I was working in local, and I knew that I grew up like you, and my parents don't speak a lick of English. My dad only has a fourth grade education. He barely knows how to read and write, except for what he taught himself. And suddenly I found myself there. I don't know if this happened with you. When you're Latino and you grow up really poor and you look around your surroundings and you don't think you mix in with the big other kids. I go to NBC, my first gig up there, and I'm surrounded by all these people. They're all Ivy League school guys. Their parents are kind of famous. They've got lawyers. They got PR people. And a lot of them, you're interviewing today the Secretary of State. He's coming in from the White House, and you're sitting next to Tom Brokaw. You're sitting next to all these famous people I've seen on TV, and I'm feeling. We have this word in Spanish. It's coaccionado, right? It means like I'm kind of embarrassed. Do I belong here? What am I going to do when I'm going to have to fight through this crap? And then somehow along the way, I don't know how, George. I don't know how, but I think I finally figured out that because I didn't have all those things, I had always had to work a little harder, and I came at it a little differently, and I had two cultures, and in the end, I had stuff those guys didn't have. But in the process, man, it's hard to figure that crap out, or at least it was for me. I don't know what it was like for you.
Well, I mean, one of the things that drew me to you and your style was that como no tienes pelos en la lengua, you don't hold anything back in a space where everything is held back. You had very honest opinions, and you stuck by your opinions, which is something that not a lot of people do. They speak on their opinions one day, then the next day, hey, listen, I'm sorry I said that. I don't know what I was thinking. You have to. The times that I've been doing stand-up, and I was always afraid of what people might think, or if anybody would get upset. And I think I was that way because those thoughts weren't mine. But now that they're mine, I don't apologize because comedy's indefensible. There's some things in comedy that you don't do, just like a police would never relinquish his gun. It's just like there's things that you're not supposed to do. And in comedy, you're not supposed to apologize for comedy.
It says in your biography that you were inspired by Freddie Prinze. Those of us old enough to remember know that Freddie Prinze was kind of in many ways, one of the most talented human beings we've ever seen performing, and also one of the most tortured people we knew. What was it? What was it that inspired you about Freddie Prinze?
Well, I believe that in the summer of 73, 74, when the TV guide would come out with a fall schedule, and that show was in a Chico and the Man. And then during the summer of 73, and they started to run promos of Chico and the Man. I think he was Hungarian, Puerto Rican, playing a Chicano. I wasn't into that whole thing about, hey, only a Chicano could play a Chicano. But his magnetism, his personality, I didn't know underneath that the way that a manager that we both shared said that he had a man's body, but a child's mind. He was very 6'2" and looked very confident on the outside, but was a lost boy inside and on drugs from back in New York. So, you come out here and you're a sensation and you don't know what's happening. And it's all happening so fast that, everything he did was not the correct thing for him to do. And then back then, I don't even think they had the Betty Ford Center. They would fire you. If you use drugs, they would fire you and then you would just disappear. But he wasn't around that long, but he made quite an impression on me because that was the first time that I ever really saw somebody that I would consider love at first sight.
You mean because you identified with his character, because you identified with his background, or because you just
identified with the look, identified with the idea that he was a stand-up doing a television show, which I never equated, and then, years later when in 2001 or 2, when I first started to do interviews, and they would say, well, who are your comedy idols? And I would say Freddie Prinze. And it was a new conversation because he'd been away for so long. And when I was 17, I stole his headstone from Forest Lawn, as if taking it was going to give me.
Did you really? You really stole his headstone?
Yeah. It was already loose, but yeah.
What the hell did you do with it?
I kept it between my mattresses for years so that I don't even know what I thought was going to penetrate through the mattresses, but which I'm not proud of. But it just goes to, it's proof. It's a footprint to the time that I would say I was obsessed. But when they came to me about the Hollywood Star and me, the 100th episode, I told them that I wasn't going to go in until Freddie Prinze went in, and nobody ever petitioned Freddie Prinze to be in. And then Johnny Grant, at that time, rest his soul, said, well, we'll look and see. And then he was not in. And then I paid for him to be in. And his family, I knew his Kathy Prinze, a wife, and Freddie Jr. And so what I did later brought them all together on Hollywood Boulevard, friends from New York, And it was quite a celebration for Freddie and Freddie Jr. Very emotional.
What was it like the first time you did stand-up?
In '79, wow. We asked a wino to buy us some wine at like a Bristol Farms on Westwood Boulevard, and we pushed it. It was a cork. We pushed the cork down with a pen, and me and my buddy Ernie were drinking. He didn't even go on stage. I don't know what he was drinking.
This isn't going to end well, but keep going.
And it was going to null the pain, but it was all, Rick, it was all frightening, man. I mean, I was scared of everything already, and that would have had to have been the most terrifying thing that I was ever going to do.
Yeah.
And when you look back, it's like, what would make you go back? And I don't have the answer to that.
But you obviously figured it out. I mean, you've become, to this day, one of the most sought after comics in the United States in both the little screen, the big screen, the live screen, everything, man. I mean,
I had a baseball coach that told me that when things got tough, I quit, and that, quitters in life don't go anywhere, don't do anything. He goes, come back in 10 years and let me know how you're doing. I bet you I can tell you right now, you're not doing a damn thing. And
he said that.
We were with my baseball coach in high school. We were nose to nose, and we were going at it. And I turned around and my friends were just like, wow. And I started to play golf maybe a year or two out of high school, and it was very difficult to learn.
Yeah.
And when it got difficult to learn, I would quit, pick up the ball and tell those guys, hey, I'm only going to play 9 holes. I'm going to take off. I forgot I had something to do. But I was lying to them, and I was lying to myself. And then on the way home one day, it's almost like his head appeared behind me, and he said, when things get tough, you pack it in. And I pulled over to the side of the road. I kind of evaluated my life at that point, which wasn't a lot to do. And then I figured out he was right. And I went to the school. I hadn't been there maybe in 4 or 5 years. And I went to the school, and I was walking across this field, and he was kind of looking like, who is that? And he says, is that my third baseman? I said, hey, coach, how you doing? What brings you here? And I told him that I had to come and apologize to him, because if I didn't, I don't think I could have lived my life peacefully without taking the responsibility of making his life harder. And then what he said to me was right. And it's the first time in my life I ever apologized to somebody. I would just disappear and not talk to the person anymore.
Fascinating. Are you still scared when you perform?
No, not at all. I may get tired, but I'm not scared. And I've been transcribing my shows like a dictation for the last 20 years. So I have all these shows that I've done, and there's stacks of them, and the DVDs are put away. And it's a great tool to look back, almost like if a paralegal was going to go and look up some case, I could go back and look up what I did in 2005, and then keep track of everything new and move everything old out. And I think I'm not afraid. I'm always very well prepared, which I wasn't. I'm opposite of what I used to be, not prepared. And I look back on those things either on the plane or during the day of shows, and it keeps me kind of in that cut right there.
Everybody says that you were discovered by Sandra Lopez and her, Sandra Bullock and her production team. I mean, that's the palaver, el cuento, as we say out there. How much of that is true, or how much of that is nuanced?
Let's see. That's a good question. I didn't know her from anybody.
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle had been at this club in Austin, and Sandra lived in Austin. And the manager comes after the first show, and he goes, hey, man, guess who's coming? Sandra Bullock. And I was a little sloppy. I was drinking. I wasn't very professional. The material I wasn't, fond of. Just kind of going through a dead end thing in the late 90s. And then I actually got on my knees, and I prayed for her not to show up. Please. I didn't know her. I didn't know what she was going to think of me, but I prayed that she would not come to the show. And before the start of the second show, the guy peeks his head, and hey, she calls, she's not coming. And I was embarrassed of what I was doing, but also less than 2 years later, she saw me out here, and I was so impressive because I kind of was changing the way I approached comedy at that time, because I was just on a dead end place. I'm like, I got to get out of this. And I was more prepared. And she came to see me, sat in the middle. And when she came backstage, she said, your life is like a train wreck that you can't turn away from. And let's come to my office and let's talk. and let's see what else we could find in there that's a train wreck. I said, yeah, all right. Train wreck.
But wait a minute. Your show that she, I guess, had a hand in at least highlighting or having it come to fruition. You played a dad, a regular guy, a very likable, normal. Other than the fact that you were funny and you were like every other dad, like I am, like my dad was with me, which made you very relatable. There was no train wreck there. So how did you go from that perceived train wreck guy to the really cool Latino dad on TV, probably the most famous Latino dad ever, with the possible exception of maybe Desi Arnaz?
Yeah, I went through and here's another thing that people where I come from. I was hitting golf balls over here. My manager calls me. He's like, "Are you on your way?" I'm like, "Man, I'm not going." "What do you mean you're not going?" What's she gonna do for me? Because hey, they called. At 1 o'clock, they'll be waiting for you. Why would you not go? I said, "What is she gonna do? What is she gonna do for me?
Wow.
What has anybody ever done for me?"
Oh my God.
He's like, "You better go. You better go." And again, I would just say, "I'm not going." And I went. We spent 3 hours talking, laughing, and we just kind of attached it to the fact that I used to work with my grandmother in a factory. And then I was married and I had one kid, and then we created the boy and a girl. And then the mom character was my grandmother, and my best friend Ernie was really my best friend Ernie. And Angie was Anne, and Carmen was Chicha's daughter named Carmen, and Max was my grandmother's poodle, Max. And we just attached it to the things that were family oriented and workplace oriented. And then from there, we started to unravel the relationship between myself and my mother and myself and my wife. And I describe the show this way. Trying to prove to his mom he's not a boy, and trying to prove to his wife he's a man. And it worked.
Yeah. I can't believe what you just said, though, that you had this opportunity to sit with them, that they were courting you, and there was something inside you that said, no, I don't want to go. Were you really saying, I don't deserve this? Is that what you were saying?
I think I was afraid of anything.
Yeah.
I think I was afraid of, I didn't have any adult male figures or anybody in my biological family that would have given me any information or advice that would have helped me growing up. And it was very, very primitive, man. I think Jodie Foster did a movie with Nell. I think she was raised by wolves. And I don't know, Rick, man, I can't tell you what it is, but I think the main thing is that if you quit, you're out. And if you don't quit, you're in. And no matter how far in you are, it's like all of the things that you were told, and then has to be, like I used to go down Barham and pay the rent late, and I would drive by Warner Brothers, and I would think to myself, what do you have to do to get in there? And that's why I did my show. So in a sense of manifest destiny, manifesting destiny is always good, because you never know. I mean, I manifested destiny without even being aware of what manifest destiny was. I just had these things in my head, and if I put it out there, I'd get it done. And I didn't realize that till a friend told me that maybe 15 years ago.
One of the cool things about you is that you've been very, very consistent throughout your career. I think, obviously you've had jobs, lost jobs, just like every other human being on this planet, but you've been very, very consistent. Is that something about your habitual sense? Is it something about your sense of organization? How have you maintained that level where most people in our profession, even more in your profession, because you're more on the entertainment side and I'm more on the news side, have a tough time with that? Somewhere along the line, they just get dogged somehow.
I was never really connected to anything human. I was more connected to things that were inanimate. Guitars, golf clubs, but humans, no. I never saw a healthy relationship growing up. And then I started doing stand-up at 18 and started traveling at 23, 24. I'm 61. Been traveling. It's an isolate. I picked the things you can do by yourself. You can play guitar by yourself. You can golf by yourself. And stand-up, you're the only one on stage. So in all of these years that have passed and in a vacuum, I would say the thing that has benefited me the most was the fact that I didn't connect to anything or anybody. So I didn't have I didn't let leaving your family to go on the road affect me. When I was standing behind the curtain in 91, when I did the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and then 31 years later, a month ago in New York with Jimmy Fallon, while they were coming back from commercial, I said, man, I stood behind this curtain 31 years ago. Did I believe 31 years ago that I was going to be standing back here 31 years later? I would have said no. I would have said no.
What was that like with Johnny Carson? Because even today, going on Fallon and going on some of these other shows is big, but nothing, I imagine, can compare to the primordial nature of television back in the 1970s and early 80s when that was it. If you were on Johnny Carson, something like 80 to 90% of America was watching you in that very moment. That must have been a hell of a trip, dude.
I mean, I was in Las Vegas and Johnny Carson was going to retire. And in the summer of 91, the USA Today in the Life section had a comedian named Ron Schock, and he was going to be one of the last 6 comedians to be on the Tonight Show before Johnny leaves in 11 months. So I started to think, man, that's like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. There's 5 tickets out there, and who's going to be the 5? I was in a hotel in Vegas at the Maxim in a Playboy Girls of Rock and Roll review show, and I'm thinking, well, it's not going to be me. I'm over here in the Playboy Girls of Rock and Roll. I'm so far from being ready, and you know what, man? It was me. I got one of the 6 spots.
God damn.
Man. I can't believe it. I mean, I still, even saying it to you, I still don't believe it.
Johnny frickin' Carson, man. That's like the Super Bowl.
And you know, and about 2 months ago, a jeweler came to my wardrobe person and said, hey, I got this kind of strange request. You know, Jonas, this guy, this jeweler to the stars, got a presidential Rolex, and the Rolex used to be owned by Johnny Carson. I'm like, what? I remember Johnny Carson having a Rolex, and it's shining on the Tonight Show. And they're like, how did he get it? Oh, you know, his widow gave it to a guy she was dating. They didn't end up getting married, and he still held it, and he hadn't worn it in 10 years, and he was going to sell it, and it had all the documentation, and he wanted to know. The jeweler said, I think I know the perfect couple guys for this. Went to me first, and then he said, if you don't like it, don't feel any pressure to buy it. And then Dick Wolf was the guy who wanted to buy it. Dick Wolf wanted to look at it. And I, when the minute I held that watch in my hand, it just kind of like this thrust of like light went through me, like just through me in holding it. And outside of my building at NBC, where my dressing room is, the Johnny Carson building, and NBC's right there. And I bought it.
Wow.
And he was wearing it the night that I did the Tonight Show in 91 when he came down the hall and he and I shook hands.
What was that like, by the way, doing the show? Did you pinch yourself a little bit?
I got seen by the talent scout at the Improv, and he said, oh, I like you. You know, very dismissive. You know, I like you. Why don't you put some stuff together and give me a call in a week, 10 days and see where you are. So then I worked on it all day for 7 days. I call him up. I go to Burbank to his office where you can see Der Wiener Schnitzel from outside of the NBC office. And he was at his desk in his chair, and I was in front of him, and he said, okay, let's see what you got. No audience, nothing. I told jokes to one guy. And he just went a couple times, and he said, "All right, move this here, move that there, and move that there, and give me a call in a week and 10 days." So that I had been working on it, but then I was at the Improv, and I was just going to work it out. And he walked in, and he saw me, and he said, "Hey, are you going to do the stuff for the show? I'll look at you right now." And I wasn't planning on seeing him, but I was going to do stuff for the show. And I did it. And when I walked out, he shook my hand and said, "Congratulations, you got the Tonight Show."
Wow. What a story. You mentioned a little while ago that one of the reasons you've been very successful and very driven is because you've never really, I don't know what word or what verb to use here, but maybe you've never given yourself the luxury or allowed yourself to tie yourself to any one person or any one human being. And, you know, in life we have children, I have children, you have children, you know, wives, loved ones. I too have always felt like I was just driven to get to the next thing and nothing would get in the way with that, in the way of that, which is why I guess I ended up interviewing 4 or 5 presidents and working at NBC and working at CNN and working at Fox and doing all that shit. And part of it was because that actually became more important than anything. Not that I don't love my wife and I don't love my kids, because I really do, but I almost relate a little bit to that sense of drivenness that you just described. Can you put it into your words for us?
Well, I would say, man, I think I've said, and I don't want it to seem, I wanted to be somebody in a place where everybody was nobody. Not that they weren't not that they weren't important, but they just got up every day and went to the same place, and I didn't want that. And I didn't settle, or did I not want to settle like these guys have settled, you know, and I just thought that I was different, not better, but I just felt inside that I was different.
Yeah, I know. And I guess what you're trying to say is you don't want to come across as callous, because I don't think you are. And I know the people who love you and you love them back. But
everybody there made their life decision so early, I didn't want to do that. You know, I didn't want to make a decision that I would be working in this place for 30 years when I was 19. And stand up, I didn't know if I was going to be any good at it, but I just felt like that was like young Chicanos use boxing or Latinos use boxing. I just thought, I didn't even know how far I was going to get. I just felt like I couldn't live the life of a 9-to-5 guy. I already done that. I didn't like it.
You just said Chicano instead of Latino, and I totally relate to that, because I think there's something in the spirit of, you know, Los Angelinos, somebody who is from Los Angeles and is Latino, who has, it doesn't mean that you can't identify with a Cuban or a Cuban from Miami or a Puerto Rican from New York or a Hondureño from Chicago. But there's something in the spirit of being a Mexican American from LA, which is a little different. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, no different than being a redneck dude from Tuscaloosa. It's just, there's a part of the regionality of who you are. Can you
I think people that come from New York sound like they're from New York.
Yeah.
And people that come from LA look like they come from LA. And, you know, the whole Chicano, you know, in the 70s, we were Chicanos in the 70s, and they had brown berets, and they had all these brothers, and had these car clubs. And then in the late 70s and 80s, then the paisas from Mexico and El Salvador and Guatemala was coming to Los Angeles, and they were the ones that would, you know, be dressed from the waist down, you know, no shirt, but boots and slacks. And they'd be working on their car with a lamp outside, and they'd got to be holding the lamp. And somebody said, how would you describe a Chicano versus a non-Chicano? And I would say, you know, when you play basketball and they have the shirts and the skins are from Mexico and the shirts are from the United States, because I'm never taking my shirt off to work on a car outside. They had no qualms.
Me neither. The same with these guys. Have you ever been with a bunch of guys? I remember when we were growing up, we'd play baseball or we'd play basketball, mostly basketball, and you'd play shirts versus skins. And like, no, I'm not taking off my shirt to play basketball with you. I mean, I'm just not. It's just not my gig. I mean, I don't do that. So,
you know, I started to let the shower steam up, so when I got out, I wouldn't have to look at myself.
It's like
it's just like a blur going by, you know.
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, imagine that the George Lopez show would be the sensation that it became?
No, I would say no. You know, and there was a big decision that had to be made, because, you know, it was after 9/11. We premiered 2002. After 9/11, all the comedies at every network went down. Like, they didn't have a chance. Everybody was watching news and or watching Datelines and all the 2020s and Nightlines. And those went away. And then we had sold the pilot in like November, December. No, in May. So we were writing the pilot August, September, October, November, started to read actors in December. And then in the middle of January, or late January of 2002, there had to be a decision made. We're all at Warner Brothers. Sandra was there, Bruce Helford, and all the presidents and people in casting at Warner Brothers. And they said, well, what do you want to do? You want to wait till September, or do you want to try to go into the mid-season, and nobody had an answer. And then Sandra said, well, let's ask George, what do you think? And I said, wow. And I was always a person like, let's go now and find out. Better to find out. I think my grandmother would say that. Better to find out now than to find out later.
Yeah, right.
So I decided to go at the mid-season, and I think it was maybe the toughest decision that I had to make in my life at that time. And then also, I think it was the right decision to make. And we had to retain 85% of the lead-in, and we retained 93.
Wow. Pretty close.
Pretty close. That was kind of a small window, not to lose 15% of your lead in. That's very tough.
But the show, how long was the show in the air? I know
the show, we did 120 episodes. So we started in the end of March in 2002, and then we ended in May in 2007.
And you still get something from that?
Oh yeah,
nice. Huh?
Yeah, I'm a creator, so I have points in the show. So they've been buying it every 4 years. I mean, it hasn't been off the air in 20 years, but it's been in syndication since 2007, and I think in 4-year blocks, and they just have kept buying it over and over again.
Why? What was it about the show, or maybe about you, that made America fall in love with that show when it was some weird Latino dude from frickin' LA, which is nothing like Leave It to Beaver or, any of those other shows that we grew up with?
I think, what would you say it was?
Was that Momo?
Yeah, I think the structure of the family was familiar. And then, we were coming off of shows like Full House and Growing Pains and Silver Spoons. And those were all very safe. And then, I would say that they end, like that. And I would say, well, we don't want to do that. We want to be a little bit, thank God Roseanne had been kind of led the way. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves Raymond. So we wanted to be a dysfunctional, but not actually, and not wear our color on our sleeve. Like that show was down the road and very diverse. Like, these guys, I would say, they would say, we're going to have a bad babysitter in an episode and we're going to cast Latinas. I said, no. We're going to cast everybody for different parts, and we're not going to make a babysitter bad, or we're not going to make a couple that need marriage counseling Latinos. They were Asian, and the other girl was a white girl babysitter. Like I just decided to tell those guys to make it everybody else, and we were the family in the house, and we did some really great things. But also, those characters were great, but also the writing was very good and above average writers. And I think at the end of the day, I think the writing and the genuine love that looked like was there between us was still very close, after 20 years, that those things were a perfect match.
But you never looked like you were acting. You looked like you were just being George Lopez. Lopez. There's a show. How did you pull that off, given that, because to look like you're not acting, you have to be acting. And to be able to pull that off, you're supposed to go to some school in New York where very wealthy people go to learn how to do that, Juilliard or some crap like that. I don't imagine that you went to Juilliard.
No.
Boy, what a surprise. I'm right.
I didn't go to the high school of performing arts in New York, LaGuardia High School. You know what I did realize? I realized I wasn't, there's some guys that you can talk to them forever. They're going to tell you that they're the greatest and they don't need this and they don't need that because they know it already.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that. I read with an actor in the middle of December, right before Christmas break, and he was an actor and I wasn't an actor. It was the guy Valente who got the part of my best friend. And I was so bad. And I remember, like a kid at a Little League game, you miss the ball, you look at your parents, and I looked at Bruce and Robert, and the look on their faces were like, no, it's all right. You don't have to read. But I knew that they saw in me, because I saw in their faces, they're like, can this fucking dude even act? What? We're right down the road. Has anybody ever asked you if you can act? No, sir. And after that day, I got back to my house. I called my manager and I said, hey, man, you got to find me an acting coach today.
Wow.
And I had this woman, Warner Laughlin, who I had her for 102 shows. I hired her, and then the show paid her, but she was with me all those years. And she's the person that got me to be able to look like I wasn't acting.
Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you, that's such an important lesson. We talk about that a lot. The idea that if you have to stand back sometimes in your life and look at your life like a mural that you're painting, and you can see in one corner, oh my God, it's missing some blue over there, or there's not enough paint on this side. Like if you same as a garden, you bought 13 plants, but there's 17 feet. You're missing 4 feet of plants. And life is like that. Every once in a while, we got to stand back and go, oh shit, I forgot the acting lessons. I better go buy some. Or
I mean, there was no way that if I hadn't seen it or even known to have felt it, that show wasn't going to survive.
God,
with me not taking acting lessons or having my coach with me every day.
That's how close that show came to being a disaster instead of the incredible hit it was. So you're about to unveil or are unveiling now something really cool and new. It's everywhere. I don't know. I can't turn on the TV or see. Tell me about it.
It's been on since November 4th, called Lopez versus Lopez, with my daughter, Mayan Lopez.
Great.
Who like me, when she was 12, she wanted to be on Saturday Night Live and she wanted to go to Second City, which she did. And Mayan's great. I mean, Mayan, has learned something that's not easy to learn in a short amount of time. And she's great on the show. And then all of a sudden there's a renewed interest in me because of her. Opportunities that are presenting themselves where they go to her and not necessarily me. And I like that. The idea, did I ever think that I would be doing a show with Mayan? Never. Could I have written it myself? No. And it came from a TikTok where a guy had made a TikTok about, me getting a kidney for my wife and then getting divorced. And, and Mayan took obsession to that, talking about her mom, and she twerked upside down and had a bag of money in her hand and all this shit that doesn't mean anything, doesn't mean anything to me. And it really kind of just putting everything out there. And I was like, and it was much more than I would have put out there, but I can't tell Mayan what to put out there. So Debbie Wolf saw the TikTok, started following Mayan, started to see these things, daddy issues and things like that. And she had her own issues with her own father. And she was working on the Connors, where Bruce Helford runs the Connors. He did my show, and she said to him, I got an idea for George and Mayan. You think they'd be interested in this? He goes, well, the only way to find out is to pitch it to them. So when they pitched it to me, where you're owning up to your responsibility for the first time and you didn't talk for years, and then you're very hard on each other. And when we hung up, I said, I forgot to ask if it was animation, because I thought only if you're painted yellow could you talk to somebody else like this. This isn't a show where I don't think humans would say this to each other. I mean, they're much more comfortable on Family Guy and American Dad and South Park, that was going to be the dialogue. But no, it was us. And it's funny because the same things are still there. We did the pilot, then you're waiting to see if the pilot got picked up, and then we've done the 13 episodes, and then tomorrow, December 2nd, we'll know whether we're going to continue, but everybody feels like they're going to continue, and there's things for me to do at NBC. But I told Fred Silverman in the elevator in the early 2000s that my dream job was to have a sitcom at NBC, and he said, maybe one day you will, George.
Wow. Yours is a great story, Vato.
Chico and the Man.
It really is.
Sanford, I'm in the Sanford and Son time spot.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, Rick, I've manifested things that could have only been manifested and not ever been, I thought, would have ever happened in the real world.
Wow. Sometimes you pinch yourself and wonder if there isn't some other force out there in the universe that's making all these things happen, right?
I don't have the same problems I had growing up. I have a Range Rover with very high performance tires, and I was driving to a house that I have, and there was a spike in it, and I could have blown out. I mean, I spent 2 hours on the freeway. I could have blown out. So I bought a BMW X7 because I needed a car that had more durable tires. I mean, you know, it's nothing like it's nothing like the way I was growing up.
Yeah, I think back to all the times I could have bit it. Plenty.
It got my attention because I was driving pretty fast, and those tires are nothing. And
when did that happen? When did that happen?
This last over Thanksgiving, and I really felt like I dodged a bullet there. I wasn't about to let it happen again, so I got another car that I could drive.
Wow,
more consistent.
Well, a message, a signal, somebody telling you, be careful, don't take shit for granted.
There was a white bat. There was a white bat flying in the house over there. Never seen a light color bat. Flew into the 2 rooms that I was in, and they were not close to each other. And you know, the mensaje from the bat is to believe what I feel and to believe what I think I see, because it's true.
Trust. Yeah, exactly. Bueno,
and again, it wasn't a human being that told me it was a fucking white bat.
I didn't even know white bats existed, man. It's like,
I didn't know either. I could see a little skeletal frame. I was like, what? But he flew in a motion. He didn't flew like any of the dark bats. He flew beautiful, just, you know, I was touching his wings and flew across in circles in those 2 rooms. And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but whatever he's got to say, I'm listening to.
I'm going to be looking for white bats from now on. George Lopez, we stand on your shoulders, my friend, for all that you have done. You are, I know, like me, you don't wear your Latino-ness on your shoulders or anything, pero at the same time, there are a lot of people who will find pride in your story and will be inspired by what you've done. And man, where that all came from. The stories you tell about when you were growing up with your grandmother and things that weren't so good in your life. And somehow you've been able to manifest all that into one heck of a great story. I mean, it's just really fun, man. It's fun knowing you. It's fun talking to you.
I appreciate you. Yeah, I have a great, I always respond really well to you, man. So thank you.
Gracias,
I have a lot of respect for you. I have a lot of respect for you as well.
Thank you, George. You're a good man. We appreciate it. Thanks again. George Lopez, the one and only. How about it, huh? How about it? Well, this is the Rick Sanchez podcast. We're a part of Agua Media. Of course, we're all over the place. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you happen to be watching this on the old YouTube-y thing, make sure you subscribe. Dale. Vamos con todo. Y hasta la próxima.
Agua.
This dude was eating some wheat checks at my house, and he's just like, "Hey, what's in that?"
Oh man,
what's in that? He's like, "What you doing with your hands?" I don't know. What's in that? Then this dude's eating these scones. This guy's like, that motherfucker dipping pumpkin bread dog treats into a cup of coffee. With his leg crossed, all cool like this. He's like, man, take your time, man. I'm just dumping these little dog treats in fucking coffee and just enjoying like, you know how it sticks in your face. Oh.
On today's show, special guest on the Part 3 podcast, creator of the let me do that again. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Part 3 podcast. Jesus.
I'll do it. Welcome, everybody, to the Part 3 podcast. Welcome, creator, star, writer, maybe one of the only 2 people who have a successful situation comedy in 2002 and then come back in 2022 with another popular sitcom on another network with my daughter. Please welcome George Lopez.
You got to do the golf clap. You got to do the golf clap.
No, seriously, George, listen, man. The Part 3 podcast, I'm excited to have you on. No shot is out of bounds on the show. Want to start the show off with Stephen Malba,
these
J.R. Smith.
Huge fans, my God. We just said it. I mean, golf is such an eclectic sport that brings people together. I've loved this cat from the beginning, man. you know, and been supportive of his gear, and he's been great. And you have been a big fan of basketball. Congratulations and everything. And then I asked you, I said before, I wish you to become a pro because it would make all of us very happy.
I appreciate
it.
I'm
And it's
working.
good for the game. Yeah.
Yes,
and
sir.
I started you in this fucking business, okay? So yeah, I love because the first question I ask of everybody that I think is cool or maybe not cool is that, do you golf? It reveals your character in the good and the bad. When I was working at the Laugh Factory in the late 90s, there was this guy that I saw all the time. We started talking about golf. We played at Griffith Park because we weren't members anywhere. And he hit his first ball and he duffed it and he chipped the other one, hit it out of bounds. And I said, hey man, just relax, you know. And he looked at me, he goes, why don't you fucking just worry about hitting your ball and I'll worry about hitting mine. I never spoke to that dude since then. It reveals, you know, usually, you know, if you're in a bad relationship and everybody knows, they don't say shit. And then you're living in your car, you're like, hey man, you looked happy. But in golf, they'll just say, pick it up. I mean, you know, imagine you go to a club, shit anywhere, it's like, yo, man, pick it up. Let's go. Just pick it up as a gimme. Take her home, get out of here, take them home. Don't work so hard. Relax.
No, man, I appreciate it. You know, you're the first person to pretty much bring the game to me and put the clubs in my hands and everything, pretty much. Thank you for that.
Well, let's wait to see what becomes of. Even when cats got a second lease of life, you know, I almost died. Now I'm just living my life every second. Nobody plays more golf than this cat right now. Not even pros. Like, no, I'm not taking the day off. You know, then my clubs adjusted. He'll get new clubs. He'll come in some new shirt. You turn around, he's got another shirt on. You're like, what the fuck? How do you change fucking shirts? It's by hole. But I love people that love golf. It can solve a lot. Golf can solve a lot of personal issues, and also you can make friends for life. That's a friend I made for life, friend for life.
Appreciate it, man. G, let's start off with what was your first ever golf memory?
Wow. I mean, first golf memory, you know, Lee Trevino in 2004, he and I became friends, and, you know, Andy Garcia's like, I can't play with Lee. Tomorrow, George, is Pro-Am in Valencia, and I can't play. You want to play? Played with Lee Trevino, and he and I became like family. I mean, really, just an amazing... we look like waiters from the Red Onion, man. With black pants, red shirt, black shoes. It's almost like, hey, my margarita. Oh, no, we're playing, man. Because that was what he wore. And I just said, you know, I'm going to wear black and red. And he wore black and red. We've had almost like the same kind of childhood. No father, you know, that's something. And then just golf has found a way to give him his life and gave him my life. But, you know, he's always trying to embarrass me. We're playing the Bob Hope. He waits till like there's 150 people. He say, hey, man, George is playing this Bob Hope tournament. I'm out here, man. I'm trying to teach him 5 shots that he can go to and hit anytime he's in trouble. He feels he needs a good shot. I'm going to teach him 5 shots to hit. That was like 500 people. He still try to fight, and he hits the 5 shots. I'm trying to teach him how to roll it over, how to block it, how to hit it down, how to hit the fairway every time he needs it. 5 shots. I said, how many shots do I know? He goes, you don't know any. So I'm trying to teach him 5 shots, just any chance to embarrass me. And I mean, he taught me 5 shots I could hit whenever I needed to hit a shot and play. Fucking amazing. It's amazing.
Still work.
Still works.
To carry off that topic right there, I played my first time ever playing golf on a golf course was at your tournament.
Yep.
Never played, never actually hit a tee shot like on a golf course. And my question is, you paired me with Lee Trevino and Joe Pesci. Like, were you not worried maybe I'd have fucked something up? Or?
You know, he doesn't have the time. The time is lost on him. You know, 7 practice swings and, you know, change his shirt. And you're just waiting around. Nobody wants to say anything. And Joe Pesci's like, who brought this motherfucker? It's like, hey, man, let's go, man. Let's go. Oh, all right, G. Okay, cool, man. Sorry, man. I just got lost. You know, they love him. They love him. They love him because they know him, but they don't know him in this world. And it's great to have him playing. It's great to have him playing golf.
He hit me after and was like, dude, I need lessons. I got to get an instructor. He said, I got to get lessons because George put me with Joe Pesci and he was just fucking riding me. He said he wanted to drive the cart and Pesci said, get the fuck out of the way. He wouldn't even let him drive.
No.
And then, like, I remember I had like a 70-yard shot, and Lee Trevino was like, hey, shake the hand. He's like showing me how to, like, a chip shot. And I was like, hit a shot. And I was like, fuck, man, I didn't really know what to say to him, you know? Because I was like, I didn't even know. I was like,
That's how long that motherfucker been playing. They don't even have lessons. They like shake the hand, you know, hey, George, when you pet the cat. pet the cat. Take a swing through, but as you way through, like remember to pet the cat. Fuck, every ball goes straight. It's got a cut. I mean, right?
So like Joe's going to the cart to grab a club, and it was a scramble, so we had the same shot. So I go to Joe Pesci and I'm looking at him. He's like, "What are you looking at?" And I was like, "What club do you have?" And I didn't know till after he grabbed a 56 wedge. And he kept covering. He goes, "What the fuck are you looking for? Don't worry about what I have." And I was like, "But I want to see what you're hitting so I can hit the same club." And he goes, "Don't fucking worry. Go back to go get your fucking iron." And I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, this guy, man, he wouldn't let me every hole. But I realized at the end he was so cool,
Yes, of course. But I mean, everybody has their own personality when they play too. And I think when somebody's new, you're like, what the fuck's this guy doing? or especially, listen, don't show up with no plastic covers on your clubs, man.
Oh, man.
Yo, right?
I'm trying to school him like the no tour bags. Like for us, the amateurs, we stand bags, maybe a little carry bag. When
it's a TV show, bro.
I get it. But when you pull up to the spot and you got the tour bag, the expectations are a little. And we all know when that happens in golf, the game just
crumbles. It crumbles. But you're right. If you go with this bag right here, you better be good.
You got your name on the bag. You got the logo.
A dude showed up and he had the little chain that was connected to it so he wouldn't lose it.
I
said, let me take all the. What are you doing? We take them all like in a bouquet of plastic with numbers on them and throw them in the trash. They're better in there than they are here. Shit's got to get a little nicked. Things got to get a little crazy.
Yeah.
And
are you a gear guy? Are you a equipment guy? Like, are you changing out all the time? Or are you a tweaker? Like, what's your style? What's your game?
I move around a little bit more. When I was playing the proms in like the 2000s, I was a Titleist dude and the Vokey wedges and stuff and the Scotty Cameron. And then I went to like, I love TaylorMade stuff. The irons is good and the Callaway had some crazy irons. But they're very territorial, man. It's almost like if you're dating somebody. Like, they came out with some clubs. TaylorMade came out with some clubs, and I called TaylorMade, and then I was like, "Hey, man, I'd like to see if I can get a set of these clubs." And then they go, "Hang on a sec, somebody's called Titleist." They're like, "Hey, man, are you on the phone with TaylorMade?" No, no, because they said you called TaylorMade. What said I called to? Why would I call Taylor? I'm with you guys. And I mean, it's like that. You find out if you collect them, then your house looks like a Roger Dunn or Dick's Sporting Goods, but
right.
It's hard not to want the newest clubs, but sometimes you find the best success in a club that's maybe 2 or 3 generations from what people are hitting now. I mean, it just, you never know, right? You never know what makes something work. Trevino won the U.S. Open in 71 with a putter he went and got at a sporting goods place that he found that was $50. And then he took it to the hotel room and he said, I jumped off the bed and I landed on it from different angles to get it to bend, because back then there weren't the trucks, so he'd lay it down and jump off and land on it, look at it, and putt it and put it down and turn it, and he won. And there's a video of him winning that probably looks like it was shot in the 1200s, now because of the quality, but he's kissing this putter, and just turning all 4 ways and just kissing this putter and holding it up, paid $50 for that putter, won the U.S. Open.
That's incredible.
So, it's however it feels, however it feels. I think when somebody that's an amateur tries to play with like blades, man,
trouble.
Oh man, blades is.
It's gonna be a long round that day.
What's the sweet spot on it? It's like when they kill you, like in the movies, like Jason Bourne, they put that little red dot. Is that the sweet? I think it's the size of on a blade. On a blade, the sweet spot is no place. Yeah.
George, you have one of the better short games I've seen. Correct? Is it because you need it often, or is it because you like it?
No, it's because I needed it often. I couldn't understand the idea of being a good driver, so I was never a good driver. But also, I learned in this public course in Silmar, El Carrizo, and El Carrizo was public, so there's in a Saturday morning, there's like 6 groups behind you, and if you took one practice swing, everybody was quiet, and if you took 2, they'd come on, what the fuck? What the fuck? Hey man, what the fuck? So I play like I'm on fire, man. I tell you, I hit it and get out of the way, right? I play fast. Get it. I've got it down now where I don't even take a practice swing. I just move it here and I get in there. I mean, it's just that when you grow up, play in one of those places where they would just put everybody out because they're making money by getting people out there. Nobody was quiet. You'd be in the backswing and somebody would drive by and honk. Bad. Nobody gave a shit about golf etiquette. So I play fast.
And Lakeside makes you good at that short game too. hitting those high ones.
Yeah, I think with the short game, years ago I played in Van Nuys, that Billingsley place that, right on there, that no hole longer than like 110 yards. And this guy had this wedge and he was just doing all this stuff with it like a wizard, man. He'd be like, "You're right behind the tree." Yep. And you come out, bloop. And you're just like, man. And this guy's like, I'm like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?" He goes, I just don't hit it long enough. So I'm always doing my short game. But I just became I could hit it from anywhere. And I thought, I like that. And I just try to hit it from anywhere. Big swing. Yeah. And it just get a soft.
Yeah, that's what he does. That big ass swing and lets it fall, and then a little nice follow through. But at Lakeside, he hits it high up over those bunkers and just hit and stop.
There's a feeling that I don't know if you can really kind of, I think when you golf, but whether you feel it the way that maybe somebody needs to feel a little bit more, like when you hit a ball solid and it takes off, there's like this energy that goes through the club and through your hands, and I think it ends up like right in here. And when you're watching it, there's this feeling of the satisfaction, like you can't, and it goes away.
Yeah.
When you put up a shot and you see it's going in, it's going in. And I think when you hit a really beautiful shot and it's taking off and it hits you right here, that's what really golf is about. That's what golf is. Yeah.
That's the addiction for sure.
That's the addiction. Yeah. When I was in high school, my baseball coach told me that I was a quitter and that I would always be a quitter, and that when things got tough, I quit. And I was like, bullshit, man. He said, let me see where you end up in life, because you know what? When shit gets tough, you pack it in. Let's see where you end up. I'd like to see where you are in 10 years. Pretty nasty, and I started to play golf, and when it got tough, I quit. Like after 9, I'd say, man, I'm going to take off. Where you going? Nah, I forgot I had to go do something. But I really was quitting because it was tough. One time I left, and when I got in my car, and I was driving home. It's like in those old movies, you see the face right here. Didn't I tell you that when it gets tough, you pack it in? He was bad. You know how they fainted or they fade out? And I said, man, I pulled over. I was like, shit, he was right. So I was already doing stand-up. I was maybe 19 or 20. And I hadn't seen him in maybe 3 years. And I went back to San Fernando High School and waited till baseball practice was over. And I walked over there. And it's the first person in my life that I ever apologized to. I told him, he goes, "Hey, my third base, what are you doing here?" I said, "Hey, man, I came to tell you I'm sorry for the way that I acted when I was here. And you were right about me. When things got tough, I quit. I realized what you told me. I realized that you were right. But I wouldn't be able to go on with my life because I disrespect you, unless I came back and told you that, thank you." And he was like, "Wow, man, that's powerful for you to come back over here." Yeah. So, so golf did that. I really didn't have a lot of, family, extended family or any family. So golf became like that, those members of the family. That's
amazing.
Yeah.
You started playing young.
I started playing Christmas of 1981. I went to El Carrizo. My friend Ernie, who passed away last April, guy that, I grew up with, and everything that I do in my life, he was the one who said, let's check out Richard Pryor. Let's go get guitars and try to play. Let's, see if you can go do stand-up at the Comedy Store, and let's go golf. I mean, this dude was the guy who had the idea. I realized I didn't have any fucking ideas growing up. And the 4 things that he taught me, I still do. In life, it's a bit of a one or the other. Like, what it's cost me in personal relationships because of being unable to connect to people, golf made me connect to something that I could connect to other people with through golf, and not necessarily through a relationship or trying to, how to keep someone entertained or how to keep a friendship going. It was easier to have it revolve around golf. Like we've seen each other for over 10 years. We've been friends for 8 or so. So all of the guys that Trevino and I still talk, and all the guys that I still hang out with is because of golf. I'm not sure if golf wasn't there that I would be where I am today.
Like when I saw you, it's like you can immediately talk about golf.
Man,
it's plenty to talk about.
Yeah, and your son has turned into a player. I used to see him when he was a kid, he was a baby, and now you see him play, and my little dude could play, Yeah. Because when I had my talk show, I gave Justin Bieber a putter, I got Kobe a putter. I gave guys that I knew that loved golf. Shakira, I gave her a putter, probably used it to chase her ex-husband out of the house. but it just became like I just became and gave these things to people that I liked,
Damn, my first golf gift for you was my putter, my TaylorMade Ben Baller flat putter.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to get that black diamond out. I'll get it.
How often are you playing golf these days, man?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. In the mid '80s, when I was just doing stand-up, you travel, you flying coach. I was leaving Dallas, and in one of those like Southwest folders, there was this golf course in Europe, Old Head, that has been there forever in Ireland. It looks like it was hanging off the earth. I mean, the 7th hole at Pebble over there, okay, but this is a whole golf course on a 2-mile peninsula that looks like it's in the middle of the ocean. Chicano tore the page out of the magazine. Of course, you tear it out, for you keep it and you leave the rest of the magazine there. People are trying to read it. All of a sudden it goes from page 70 to 80. What happened to the other pages? I kept it in my wallet for years. I just became a member last week. I joined.
Oh, that's dope.
I joined Old Head.
Right. Perfect.
I played there 3 years ago. I loved it. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna join. So I became a member.
Oh, that's dope.
I mean, that's how much I love golf, but also love what it's done for me personally, like what it's made me become. Yeah. I've seen some funny shit too, but I mean, it's done, this dude, we're playing with the Chicano dudes over the lakeside. You take these guys from the hood and you're like, hey man, this guy's going to hit. He goes, no, I'm good. I'll get out of the way. And, he said, I would get out of the way, knock down this guy, knocked down a utility. We didn't even get a chance to say his name. Yeah. And he turned around and like an Uncommon Valor, like or Tropic Thunder, any war movie where the dude gets hit in the back and he's like, and they drop to their knees and their hands go up. Oh, this dude, man, like he was shot, fell to his knees, went like that, and then fell like a domino, fell forward, like right in the middle of the back. So, in golf, it's never funny when somebody gets hit, but if they're not paying attention, it's funny as fuck.
Yo, like in your entire memory, do you have a golf shot that was like the most memorable, the most favorite shot you've had in a round?
I had a hole-in-one at Lakeside when I played with Ray Allen. 195 par 3, horrible hole. I don't like it, least favorite.
Yeah.
Hit was a PXG hit, landed one, went in. And then it was Paul Pierce's retirement jersey ceremony in Boston, but Ray wasn't invited. I think Ray and the Celtics. So he didn't go, but it made it look like he was golfing instead of being at Paul Pierce's ceremony, but he wasn't invited. So they're like, oh man, he's out there playing golf with George Lopez and he's not here at the ceremony. It had nothing to do with it. And I'm like, he wasn't invited. Now almost I'm the 12th man, hey, he's not invited. And then I think I chipped in 2004, Pebble Beach, to make the cut on 15, kind of went on this par thing and made the cut by 1 because I was chipping in from everywhere. That's unbelievable, man. You don't even know where that comes from,
It's amazing how it does that, right?
It's like gambling, man. You're hot. You get hot. And I used to play with Jesper Parnevik, and I went on this, like I got 12 strokes to my ball on a thing, and he comes over to me, goes, what are you hitting? And I said, a 5-iron. He goes, are you kidding me? I said, go over there and fucking hit your ball. Let me just hit mine. So I was, I didn't really hit it far, so I would always take extra club, but he was like, fucking 5-iron, it's 140 yards. Just go back over there, man. Fucking worry about it. And I chunk it, but it hits the front and it's already going forward. So when I chunk it, it hits, but releases and probably ends up like that. Nobody knows what the number is. I always cover the number,
Yeah.
What was that? 9-iron. It's like fucking taking a limousine to fucking drive down the street, man. It's like, that's way too much. I just went on this thing, man, where I couldn't miss. Doesn't happen a lot, but when it does happen, it's just like
it's the best
being the hottest gambler in the world, man.
Damn, man, you never told me the story about the ace. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, go to play at St. Andrews, and playing with Trevino is always fun. We play in the desert, He stays at my house. I have a house in La Quinta, and I have this Mini Cooper, and he gets out. He's like, man, this is George Lopez, Mexican Bentley, the Mini Cooper. So, I have it out there. When you have cars, you don't really let anybody mess with your cars,
Right.
So there's all little Mini Cooper, gray, racing stripe, black rims, little orange calipers. It's just nobody drives it. He goes, hey, man, I'm driving that car, man. Woo, that thing's fast, man. It's little and it's fast. I go over there, man. All 4 rims are fucking rashed from the curbs, man.
Damn. He's driving like it was a golf cart.
He's driving like it's a golf cart. He's coming around the corner. Man, where's that driveway? Man, it's 20 feet up. All rashed. You almost have to make it like part of the design. We're like, oh, that's cool. How it's black, in the middle, and then like really shiny, kind of jagged on the outside. Yeah, man. You know, they make these in Europe. You know, I mean,
I don't play with my cars. You know, I don't fuck around, dog. Like,
and then he calls me up one time and he goes, "Hey man, what's this chocolate you have in there, man? Who makes it?" I said, "Don't eat that shit, man. It's all weed." I said, "Hey yo," he goes, "Really?" He goes, "Wait, mama, don't eat that." Don't eat that. He said, "Man, I was outside naked, man." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I'm watering the grass naked." I said, "Naked?" But my wife was like, "Lee, you don't have any clothes on." What? But I mean, you can't, before weed looked like weed, you pick it up, you're like, oh man, whose is this? But then you pick up a lollipop, you know. This dude was eating some wheat checks at my house, and he's just like, hey, what's in that?
Oh man.
What's in that? You're like, what you doing with your hands? I don't know. What's in that? Then this dude's eating these scones. This guy's like sitting there 5:30 in the morning. I go, what you doing up so soon, man? He's like, man, this Scotty, I had a dog I rescued for like 2 days. He fucking bit me, but I bought all the food. That motherfucker was dipping pumpkin bread dog treats into a cup of coffee. With his leg crossed, all cool like this. He's like, man, take your time, man. I'm just dumping these little dog treats in fucking coffee and just enjoying like, oh, you know how it sticks in your tail. Oh.
Oh, yo, break.
Motherfucker, I said, take a look. I said, take a look at that fucking bag. There's a dog on the fucking bag, man.
JR, I said we got to take
a fucking dog. He's all fucking, man, this is some cool, this is some good treats right here. The fucking dog on the bag. Who makes this? With the hands on. Who makes this?
Fucking hands.
Crazy shit, huh? Just who makes this?
JR, got you.
JR, who?
Hands.
Hey, man, you all right? Who makes this?
Oh, fuck, my stomach hurts, bro.
Oh, my God.
Oh, sorry, man.
Hey, man, stop doing that. What? Stop doing what?
I got a cramp in my stomach, bro.
Weed and golf. That's why we do that. We do that tournament, the Brownie Cup, with me, Cheadle, Anthony, and Cedric, where you play 9 holes sober, and then you eat a marijuana brownie and a double cranberry and vodka. So you count every shot. So the first 9, you're sober, so that's where you got to stock. You know, hey man, par. As I save them, you're gonna need them on the back. Cheeto. It's the only tournament that Don Cheeto could win with a 9 and win by 3. Yeah. He hit 3 balls in the water. I mean, you get so high. Cheech played with that, like, God damn, look. God damn. He hit 7 into the same fucking tree at Madison. 7. He's like, how much is that? It's just like, and you have to count them all because somebody could hit fucking 9 into a fucking tree that still might win.
Oh, man.
And the greatest is where we're playing, and it's kind of getting to the end of it. You know, I'm leading by 1, and then I'm hitting this ball, and I said, "Hey, did anybody see where it went?" And they were all in the middle of the fairway. He goes, "Yeah, I think." And Cheech is like, "Man, I saw it, man. It was like right there, it's like right here, I think." And everybody's looking. For at least 20 minutes, I put my hand in my pocket. I go, "Hey, man, I didn't hit, man." I still had the ball in my hand. I was like, "Hey, I didn't hit." I didn't remember that. And they're all like, "I saw it." Fucking, I didn't hit.
They just knew.
Man, I mean, you know, if anybody ever wants to do one turn, I mean, the Skins were great to watch back in the day.
Yeah.
I think Thanksgiving weekend, you do the Brownie Cup, play 9 sober, you play 9 high.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I like that.
But I mean, that's what golf, I mean, you're not going to be able to laugh that hard, man. You know,
golf's amazing.
And that's what golf brings to you.
Such a great sport.
You know, speaking of the tournaments, right? You got your 16th annual George Lopez Classic. What made you want to start the tournament? You know,
well, you know, I had a kidney transplant in 2005, and I really didn't want to. I remember I told my doctor, I said, "Hey, man, I don't want to be the poster boy for kidney disease. I was about doing my first show. I was like, I just want to get well, go back to work. And then I've been sick most of my life. So literally a day and a half after my kidney transplant, I woke up in the morning and I was like, man, I feel really good. Like maybe the best I've ever felt in my life. And at that point, I thought to get a transplant and to feel good and then turn your back on people who are sick would be horrible. So I decided to do the foundation and raise money for the kids. We raised millions of dollars for kids who have kidney disease and military families and people. But that's what I decided to do because I still feel great, man. It's almost 18 years. I mean, nobody survives that long.
I mean, I played a lot of tournaments, like a lot of stuff.
Who makes this? But I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's a great tournament, and it's just always so much fun.
No, I'm invited this year, right?
Yes, you all are.
You know what's crazy is like on hole 7, there's literally there's tents on every hole, a celebrity tournament. Hole 7, there's literally a table filled with blunts, and I'm like, God damn! And then at the turn, there's the bar, there's tacos, there's a DJ. Like I've never experienced because he has a cart with playing music and everything. It's loud as hell. I've been to a lot of tournaments. I've never been anything like that before, man.
When I was doing my talk show, it lasted 2 years. It was amazing. I mean, we did a lot of great things. And then, I was driving the car one time when it was over, and I said, man, how does a show like that not, continue? Snoop was on, and everybody smoked weed. Snoop gets there early with his guys, and he gives his Laker outfit, the pants that he wears and the long, like a player's outfit, and he gives it to wardrobe, and he asked the wardrobe girl if she could steam it for him. So he wears. So she's steaming it, man, and this weed smell is coming out of it. She's like this, and she's steaming it. They go into wardrobe, and they find her like the Statue of Liberty, man, on her back, holding the steamer with steam coming out of it like this. Like if the Statue of Liberty fell over, and she was like this, and steam was coming out of it, she passed out from steaming Snoop's clothes because the smell of the weed was coming out. And then Snoop stayed there. I think it was like 1:30 in the morning. The phone rings. I'm like, hello. And they're like, hi, Mr. Lopez. This is Officer Schultz at Stage 29, Warner Brothers. Yeah. What's going on? Snoop and his entourage are still in there. Apparently, it still smells of marijuana. I'm not sure what you want us to do. I said, go home. Just pretend we never talked. I said, go home. I said, go home, man. They're going to leave. I said, go home. Just don't look back. Just get in your car.
They'll be all right.
I mean, we did some crazy shit in there. That's part of it. Leave.
What is your absolute favorite club in your golf bag?
I got a Adams utility, like a hybrid in Pebble a long time ago. And it has, you guys know this because it has the worn sweet spot in the middle. And I don't know, man, whoever made it, however they made it, I could hit that thing so good all the time. And I take it. I don't have it in the bag all the time, but if I'm playing and it means something, I take that thing because it just works. You know that it just works. Man. It just works. Yeah,
for sure.
So if there was one part of your game right now that you can make on a PGA Pro level, what would it be?
I would say anywhere in from 100 yards. Right.
He hits those half pitch shots, little 40 yard, 30 yard, 50 yard. I heard Tom Watson. They asked him once. They said, that is the hardest shot in golf, right? So they said to Tom Watson, they said, what do you do when you get a 45-yard shot? And he said, I fire my caddy. Because it's the hardest shot. And that's what he is, money. I mean, you're natural at that. That's like, because you see the tour guys, like, that's the shot you could hit 45 yards, or you could hit it 2 yards, or you could hit it 100 yards, right? You blade it, it's going 100, you lose the ball, you could chunk it a foot or two, but he just talking, walks up, no practice swings, keeps talking and hits it and does this high follow through, holds that shit, and it goes high and it just hits and stops.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, you sent me a pic one time. You had the high hands. I played like a short shot. It was
this is golf, man. Like when I was playing the AT&T, it's like every hole is you might have a hole that you just can't do well on. The 6 at Pebble that when you had to hit the second shot above that.
It's hard.
It's hard. And I would hit great drives and I would say, I'm 185, I'm going to do it. And I would hit it right into the face of that thing. And then I have to walk up there and you just cliff and just have to go up there. The last AT&T I played in, I got up I was maybe 85 yards, and I sculled it, and it went past all the people that got in the, in the back of the, or the green people moved out of the way, and the whole time I'm telling Mike Collins, that guy from ESPN, I'm saying, man, it's horrible, man. Paralyzed with my hands, playing this kind of thing, just like paralyzed. I hit in the middle, get this far, paralyzed, and the next was a flop, and I hit it up, and it went in, and it's like that's golf, where you could literally be walking with the guy and just saying, it's fucking horrible. I'm paralyzed with my fucking hands, man. Fucking hit you right there, paralyzed. And the next one you hit in the air, it lands and it rolls in, man. That's
full flop.
That's what
shot,
it is.
sure.
Yeah. It's like life, man. Like, I looked at it like, if you got in trouble, get out of trouble. Like if I hit it where I was in trouble, the guys are looking at they're trying to make some incredible thing happen that's not going to happen. They think it might happen, but in reality, if you're in I would always say, if you're in trouble, man, get out of trouble and just get it to the middle, play to the middle. If things, even before I took lessons and things were really bad, if we were all shitty, I tell these dudes, just play it to the middle, man. Just hit it to the middle of the fairway. Then it'll work itself out. Yeah.
That's true, man. You played a lot of pro-ams, right? Like
Yes.
you played. Who would you say was like your favorite tour pro that you played with? You got a crazy story about that?
I played with some great ones, man. I played with BJ at the Waste Management in Phoenix, and I was hungover from going to a Laker game, and I thought I looked pretty good. Took private jet over there. When I landed on the first tee, he looks at me and goes, "You all right?" Fucking knew I was hungover. Nobody knew. Had these great pants on, great sweater. I looked amazing, man. Hat backwards with some sunglasses. Walks up, "You all right?" I said, He goes, "Yeah." No. Mike Weir was awesome. I played with Jack Nicklaus in Kentucky. Yeah. So I played, with Nick Faldo was great. I mean, and I played at the Sunday at the Masters. Trevor Immelman took me, and Mike Weir took me. Where the Sunday past champion can bring a guest the Sunday before the Masters. So you see Augusta, you know where it is in Georgia, and it says Augusta National welcomes George Lopez. I said, I thought this place was racist. And I didn't see the lady behind the counter right there. Apparently I'm racist, but this place is fine. And then, we stayed overnight one time and they have a picture of Clifford, the first chairman of Augusta. And he's hanging over this fireplace and, it's like some old white man like this. And they said, the guy says, "Look at the eyes. If you move around the room, they follow you." I go, "Yes, they follow us, but do they follow him?" So I think for my style of comedy, I think, the South is the perfect place.
You go to town down there
to make fun of it.
Right.
We were Trevor Immelman and I were in the champions locker room, the first Masters that Tiger went back to after his issues, right? So Tiger's a really strange cat, man. Like around the tournament stuff, because he's been, he's that guy. And he walks in and he just, "Hey, Trev." And he just immediately goes into the bathroom. Like he walks like this, "Hey, Trev," and just goes into the bathroom. And he goes, "Hey, let's go." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "He's not going to leave. He won't get out of the bathroom until we leave." I said, "Get the fuck out." He goes, No. He'll stay in there until we leave. I said, "Get the fuck." He goes, and I said, "Let's just stay." He goes, No, let's go. And I think it was true. I think Tiger would have stayed in there. If we would have stayed in there for hours, I think he would have stayed in there.
Damn.
I mean, awkward, man, around, like that's their whole, around the court, that's your domain. But then 100%. Some cat you see that's a comedian, you're just like, "Oh shit, he's not a champion. What's he doing in here?" Hey. It's like cats are odd, man. Yeah. Dudes are odd.
Yeah.
And I don't know if odd helps or it hurts, but whatever, if you're odd and you're really odd, then it might work. But if you just have quirks, that won't make you, a champion. Like, Boo Weekly, or those cats that, are just so different in any sport.
Right.
Sometimes it's real and sometimes it's just that these cats are just.
You need to be extra quirky to work. Extra odd is like a Rain Man.
Yeah, it totally is.
That's what I wanted to ask you, 'cause especially like with a podcast like this, black guy, Asian guy, white guy, obviously Latino. Did you face anything like that in golf?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I I think so. I think the Bob Hope was a little bit in times past. Like when they made me the host, I brought Sam Jackson, I brought Clint Eastwood, I brought Ray Romano, I brought all these Jimmy Kimmel, all those guys, and I don't think that they wanted it to be that far from their hands. Like also, they didn't bring anybody, I did, and I don't think they wanted to be in a tournament where I would do things without asking them. And it made the tournament better, but not for them. And they're the establishment. They're the guys, they're the Bob Hope, board. And they would decide who came and who didn't come. And then now I was doing it and they decided to bounce me. And I think it destroyed the tournament. I think it destroyed something that the players love to do and that was reigniting from the Bob Hope kind of had died a little bit, reignited. I mean, I got in and out to go to the driving range in 2007, an in-and-out truck to go to the driving range at the Bob Hope. And there was a European guy, and he was eating like some, stuff you'd never see, Vegemite or some shit. I said, hey, man, put that shit down and go out there and get yourself a double-double. He's like, what? He's what? I said, a double-double. That one comes by, he's like 3 of them. He got one under his chin, he got 2 in his, you're like, it's like in and out. To people who have had it, they love it if you love it. But if you've never had it and you have it on a driving range at a PGA tournament, that's different.
Yeah. So,
I think golf has always kind of been maybe a boutique type sport that tried to get bigger, but I think they're kind of confined a little bit in the rules. I mean, the rules are hundreds of years old, but I think sometimes the thought of people can be backward as well. I don't think it helps. I don't think that helps golf. Serves it well.
I mean, like to follow up, like what he's saying, right? Like JR, the better I get to know him, and that's like, this is my dog right here, and we have similar, interests and things like that. And just from the short amount of time of playing golf with him, I noticed he's a big advocate for bringing color into the sport and everything. And I'm obviously going to back him for 100%. But like, how do you feel about that? Like growing the game, like especially like the way like us three, we're how do you feel about the game of golf growing? As far as outside the stigma.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. I mean, I've seen it. I've been around it for a long time as a fan, but also it is more colorful. And Steven's done an amazing job of bringing style to golf and things that are things that you would see in fashion and want. That's what, just head covers and things that would entice somebody that's young to play, that you look cool playing golf. You wear your hat backwards, hat's bigger, brim's flat, sweater, gloves, shoes, all that stuff is you're going to bring the game along. You're going to doing that helps it. But I think any sport, especially something that's worldwide like golf, can only thrive if it allows everybody to play and wants everybody to feel comfortable playing.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Because when they talked about him going pro, playing college golf and everything, I didn't see any hate anywhere. Steven, all good. As soon as I just started to play golf at 49, I'm like, I'm an old man. Why can't I play golf? People hate it. It was crazy. And I don't think it was because I was
What
Asian.
is it though? Like they just
even me, like when I started the brand, I only knew like 2 people who played golf in LA when I lived in LA. It was Eric Carlson and Malto, the 2 skateboarder homies that you guys know as well. But when I would ask my friends, and I came from New York City, and publishing, marketing, advertising, creative, entertainment, weirdo shit, and then I come out here, and all my friends are people like you, and streetwear and fashion and skateboarding shit, and I'd say to people, hey, do you want to go golfing on Wednesday? But I wouldn't get a no. I'd get a hell no, just a deep down no. Like, why'd you even ask me that?
Like a disgust
weirdo. Yeah, like they were disgusted. Right. And I lived in New York for 10, 12 years. Like I didn't golf once. I didn't even tell anybody. Doing creative projects with like Lenny Kravitz and thinking of, we were in the Bahamas doing a project with him, and next door was like a famous golf course. So I knew what was next door, and I was thinking, damn, I want to go over there and play that course. But I was thinking, like, what is this dude going to say when I say I'm leaving you for 5 hours to go be with those people on the golf course, and then I got to come back? You're gonna have to hate me after such a thing, and that's literally like where it was, 10 years ago. And I think it's getting better, but like you said, like the establishment it's like we want this, we want this, we want this, and then sometimes they say, just kidding, let's go play. right? It's like just us four.
In the mid '90s, I played at Handsome Dam with O.J. Simpson, and
he plays her a lot, man. Still.
No, of course. I said to him. First thing I said to him was, "You ever think you'd be in the situation you would be playing with Mexicans?" Because he was a member at Riviera after, and he was like, he got deep in thought. He goes, "No, just never looked at me. Do you ever think you'd end up playing golf with all these Mexicans?" No. And so everybody's kind of like, because he's got this big barrel swing, kind of quirky, and I'm just like biting my tongue, and then on 18 he comes across it and hits it, yanks it left, and there's when you drive into Handsome Dam, there's just like this hedge there, and you see it rolling around over there, and everybody's looking, and he's like, "Did anybody see where that went?" And I said, the guy's like, "I think I saw it. Can I play it?" I said, "Hey, well, look at the good side. You're not in jail." I think he owed me like $12, and I said, "Do I have to give any of it to Fred Goldman?" And the motherfucker said, "Fuck Fred Goldman." Alleged. All right. I've been around a long time, man. I've been around a long time, and when I found out you guys were doing this, I mean, I love you guys, and I think you're talking about color and golf. I think this podcast is perfect, and it's exactly what with the social media at the height of where it is. I think this is a great way to get the game out to people and talk about it in a fun way.
Appreciate it.
No, man, appreciate it. Last question, man. Who is your dream foursome?
My dream foursome, alive,
dead or
alive.
Man, I would have played with Elvis Presley for the pharmaceuticals. I used to play with Eddie Van Halen, who I love deeply. And I never knew my dad. I think I'd maybe play with my dad. Try to hit him in the back.
Yeah, give those cookies after that.
Yeah. You know what, man? I've had the honor of playing with some great people, but also cats that I play with just on the regular, man, are always fun, like you. And it's always supposed to be it's just fun anyways, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I never played Twilight before until with you. That was that was amazing. Hitting the 18th hole, and then it was dark, like right there.
That's my favorite time to play.
Oh, absolutely.
And you play early.
The great thing about Lakeside is though, like we're pulling up 16th or 17th hole, and we're going on the crossing right there, and Nick Jonas and Miles Teller are still trying. They're not going to finish 18, not in the dark, and we're about to. It's getting dark now. And it was just cool. Just every time I play with them, there's always a dope vibe there. There's always somebody. Even when I pulled up, I was going on the range, and I can't say the word because it's a word, a cancel culture word. But I was walking to the range, and I was like, "Oh, I'm here with G-Lo." And the guy's like, "Yeah, we good. We know you, Ben Baller. It's all good." And the guy's like, "I don't know you," and won't say the word. And I looked over, and it was Joe Pesci, and I was like, "Oh, what's up?" And then he didn't even. He just walked away. I was like, "Fuck, man, this guy, dude."
Hey, Jack Nicholson used to be a member. There, he left, and him and Joe Pesci got into it on 9 because Billy Andre, the pro, went to give Jack a tip, and because he was hitting it right, and he says, "I think I can help Jack." Billy had just gotten there, and Joe's like, "Yeah, I can tell him, motherfucker." And he's like, yeah, I think I got a tip for you. And then Jack's like, yeah. Everybody's got a tip for Jack. Well, I got a tip for you, buddy. You can take your tip and shove it up your fucking ass. And his eyes go like this, and then he walks back, and Joe Pesci goes, "What's the matter? What do you say?" He goes, No, nothing. He goes, "What do you say?" He goes, "Told me to shove my tip up my ass." And Joe Pesci jumps out. He goes, "Hey, you motherfucker, this is my friend, you prick. I don't care who it is." Now you got both those dudes arguing. I'm not going to debate it. Hey, you motherfucker. You say you're sorry. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Like a movie. All because a dude shanked it right. I mean, it's amazing. It's awesome.
Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, George.
Appreciate it. Anytime.
Really appreciate it, man.
I love you guys, man. Good luck.
Guys, amazing episode, man. I'm Ben Baller.
Excuse me. I know. We'll see y'all.
And the legend, George Lopez, part 3. Catch you on the next one.
Xin chào các bạn, mình Tô ngồi với Chanh rồi nha. Lê mình đã hoàn thành một cái bức tranh nha các bạn. Bye bye.